Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Time Pass with the New Indian Express. I have with me the extraordinary Rajkummar Rao, who changes his appearance, his characteristics. I know it's called acting, but we don't normally see such fine acting on Indian screen. So it's a pleasure for me to welcome someone I've admired for a very long time, Rajkummar Rao. I'm so delighted to welcome you. Thank you for doing this. How
Thank
are
you, ma'am.
you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm in
Good.
Chandigarh, in a bubble. We're about to start a shoot on 30th.
Okay.
I'm just locked in my
You're
hotel.
and you're in that space where you're prepping for a new role.
Yeah.
I know you take it really seriously. Can you talk a little about what you're doing? What the next film is?
We still have to title it. It's not titled yet. It's a film which is being directed by Abhishek Jain. It's his first Hindi film. He's made a
Right,
film called Bayar in Gujarati language.
right.
And this is a film which has me, Kriti Sanan, uh, Paresh sir, Ratna ji, Ratna Pathak Shah ji.
Wow, what a terrific combination of people. And you've worked with, I think, all of them at some point or the other. Not
I
with
think
Paresh.
minus Ratna ji. Paresh
Yeah,
sir, I worked in Made in China in
made
couple of
in China. Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
but with
So,
Ratna, yeah, no.
yeah. So, Rajkumar, it's quite extraordinary how you change, with every film. And, it could be the slightest thing. For instance, for Newton, the blink or the hairdo. But it makes such a difference. So, when a role comes to you, what is it that you decide, okay, this is what I want to do for this? And this is what is exciting me.
So what gets me excited is the story overall,
Right.
the script overall. And if it's a character, then which is amazing, like in Bareilly, I loved the story, but then I saw Preetham Vidrohi, I thought there's so much scope as an actor for me to do.
Right.
I really could enjoy so much, playing this character with two, dual personalities. So sometimes just the story, sometimes it's story and the character. Like with Newton, I love the simplicity of Newton. I love the sincerity and the honesty with which they wrote the script. And then when I come on board, I try and bring in some of my own elements. That you just give an example of Newton, that with the hair and maybe a little bit of blinking in the eyes, just to make it exciting for me as an actor. Otherwise just keep doing the same thing gets very monotonous after a point.
I don't think anyone can accuse you of monotony. I think every
And
every role
very,
that you do is so extraordinary. Talk a
very kind.
little about Ludo and Chalang because we're seeing both films almost
Yeah,
back to back, and it's very exciting, I think, for you. Although they were
yeah,
supposed to be released earlier, but
yeah.
and now to sort of come into the public domain again after this enormous lockdown. What's it like again to be with audiences?
I am very excited for both the films. Both the films are very different
Yeah,
genres. One is a crime comedy, which is Ludo, and one is a sports drama comedy, which is Chalang. And playing two different parts altogether, coming from two different backgrounds. They look different, they talk differently. So I'm excited. I think it will be fun to see. Like one day people are watching Ludo, next day they're watching the same actor doing different things. So I'm excited for that part to witness. Uh, they coming together also, like I didn't want these films to come together, of course, at the same time, because I
right.
thought we should enjoy one and then after a gap maybe the other one can come. But both are very special to me. Like Chalang is directed by Hansal Mehta
Yeah.
and Hansal sir, and written and produced by Love sir. These are the people I really admire and I really like their work, their writing. And Basu, of course, Anurag Basu, our Dada. He is yes, and playing this really, I was really playing out of the crease in Ludo. I was not in the defense mode. I was just hitting I was just trying to hit the ball. So I've gone full on in
Right.
Ludo, and I've given it my everything. This is the first time I'm trying something very very physical with my ball. Like there's a lot of physical comedy in it.
No, even from the trailer, the way you're announcing the dishes, it's hilarious.
You have to wait for the introduction of my character. It's
Okay.
a 1 minute monologue where I'm just reciting food items. It's like a menu and dancing like Mithunda. I think, yeah, looking forward to that.
And the hairdo and everything is sort of
It
very
is like full Mithun.
disco. So, did you model it on Mithunda or what?
I did. It just happened because we were doing our look test, different look tests, because I want to, like, both of us wanted to give this cat a certain look. And we were trying different patches of hair patches. And then we tried this one. And then Dada said, "Arey, ye to Mithun lag raha tu." And we thought, why not?
Yeah.
Let's base this character on Mithun Da. And Dada is such that if you give him ideas, he's very open to it. Then he just changed the whole character and the background. And he just made it so easy for me.
Yeah, in a way, it's like the other part of Pritam Vidrohi, all out and
All out.
completely
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
Which I think people really get, and how often have you been called Pritam Vidrohi when you
Oh,
go out and meet people?
a lot. Someone told me there are groups on social medias called Pritam Vidrohi.
I can imagine. What about Chalang? Because again, it's again quite a physical role. You're a coach, and yet you have this obvious crush on this teacher, and your competitor is Zishan. How is it playing that?
It was great fun because Chalang is set in Haryana, the story, which is my home ground.
Right.
I am very much familiar with this world, with these characters. So I knew the language, but I'm out of practice for a couple of years now. So I had to go through to my initial days and talk to my family members and my extended cousins, and just to hear them out, just to get used to it again, all over
Yeah.
again. And then to play this PT coach who's so laid back and he doesn't understand his responsibilities at all. He's just
Right.
doing it because he was supposed to do a job,
Yeah.
and he just got this one. So I think it's very important for in a way with this film we're also trying to tell everyone that how whatever you do in life,
Yeah.
you have to do it in the right way, because
Right.
that is your responsibility, that is the job given to you. And if you don't do it right, something might get affected.
Mhm.
So I think it is very important for people to understand, which I think in a way Newton was also trying to say.
Absolutely.
But I just it's a first light-hearted fun film that me and Hansa sir are doing together.
Yeah.
He is a very funny guy in real life. People, of course, can't judge him with the kind of filmography he has, but he is a lot of fun. He's not a serious guy. He's not a serious, that you only talk about serious issues. You can talk with him about that as well, but he has a funny side, which very beautifully came out in through this film.
In fact, you talked about Hansel, and he has often talked about how close both of you are as well. And
Yeah,
he also talks to you about a lot of his problems.
yeah,
He's often told me that whenever he had to share, say, a trauma that he was going through, he would come to you and talk about it, and you would just sort of hear each other out, and
yeah,
just having a listening board.
yeah, yeah.
So, how important is it for a young actor, Rajkumar, to have an ecosystem of people around you, like Hansal, or even in your personal life, to stay sane, to stay afloat, to be charged all the time?
It is very important. Especially, I think this pandemic has taught us that you have to be. Nothing is permanent.
Right.
You have to be. There has to be some people out there who you can count upon,
Right.
who are there for you. And Hansal sir is definitely one of them. He is again. It's same goes for me. If I'm ever in any situation, I think I would definitely call him, and
Right.
sure he would always be there for me. Uh, but I think it is important to have friends. I have so many friends who are not from the film industry,
Hmm.
so it's important to keep that reality check.
Hmm.
And also, I'm someone who tries to portray reality on screen.
Right.
So I can't distance myself from reality, because if you can't be real in real life, you can't portray reality on screen.
Absolutely.
You can't be that person. So I talk to my friends about everything, from
Right.
film to about everything in the world that is happening.
Right. So, Rajkumar, when I look back, it's been 10 years in the industry for you. Quite extraordinary, even in terms of the range and depth of the roles that you've done. And beginning with such a genre-breaking movie like LSD. I mean, it was truly revolutionary at that time. I remember when it came out, we were stunned, all of us. What is this? So, talk a little about going from there to the kind of movies you're doing now. Do you feel the Hindi movie narrative has progressed, or has it regressed?
It has definitely progressed.
Hmm.
And I think the credit goes to our audiences. They
Hmm.
have definitely evolved.
Hmm.
because they have now very easy access to all the things that are going on in the world. They have access to international cinema, they have access to French cinema, to Korean cinema. So now somewhere I think they did start expecting the same kind of content from us as well, from our
Right.
industry as well.
Right.
That look at that, what they are making, and
Yeah.
why can't we make such stories? Why can't
That,
we make such big films like Why can't we make Bahubali
yeah.
the world? So I think that's the reason I think makers have also realized that now we have to push our boundaries. We just can't keep selling the project. We just can't keep selling the same story in a different package.
Hmm.
So that's the reason I think new generation of filmmakers and writers, they are writing such heartland stories about characters who are characters which are so relatable. You feel like these people, this
Yeah.
world. You become a
Right.
part of that family, of that group. And all, I think our audiences also, they now want to see actors playing characters on screen
Hmm.
rather than playing themselves.
Over
So I think
and over again.
yeah, I think that's the reason. Like most of actors like me, and with me and like a lot of Ayushman, Vicky, Ranveer, so many Ranveer, Karthik. We're trying to slowly, push that boundary and trying to explore it even further.
How important is it for you to have the kind of writers and directors whose vision matches yours? Do you have enough of those?
I think fortunately, whoever I worked with till date, we have always been on the same page.
Hmm.
I think we knew the reason why we were making that film. We were making it because we wanted to tell that story very sincerely, and not because nobody was aiming that let's do this because it sells.
Hmm.
That thing has never come up as of now in my career. Nobody has told me that sir ye bikta hai, ye kar dete hain.
Uh-huh.
Like how do you know ye bikta hai?
Yeah.
Maybe film mein nahi bikega. So I
Right.
think we were very sure the kind of films that we wanted to make. It was about being really honest to the the writing material, to the given material, and that's what we always do. And as I said, in my case, I've been very fortunate that the kind of directors I worked with,
Yeah.
they have that kind of trust in me.
But so many things also don't work out sometimes, Rajkumar. You have a project or you have a film that's so exciting, you want to jump into it right away, then it doesn't happen. Say NH10, which was supposed to happen with you and Frida. How heartbreaking is that for an actor? Everything seems perfect, the story is lovely, and then it doesn't happen.
No, I don't take it to my heart.
Yeah.
I'm a very positive person.
How
I
are
think
you so positive? You have to explain the secret of
because
that.
my blood group is B positive. I think it's fine. These are small things in life.
Yeah.
You move on. You can't
Right.
look back at the past and just keep thinking about that. Of
Right.
course, for that couple of maybe for that moment you feel little, array, why?
Yeah.
But move on. You can't really sit there and keep thinking about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, talk a little about the work you're doing now. There's Badhai Do, there's White Tiger, which seems very exciting. I think you've worked with Rahman Berami, who's I think one of the
Yeah.
finest directors in the world.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was so exciting to work with Ramin. I just saw one of his films till we started shooting, and then I was, shooting for something, and I told my director friend that I'm doing this film, The White Tiger, and Ramin is directing, and he got so excited because he was a fan. He is someone who saw all his films, all his work.
Right.
I said, "Wow, you do you have any idea you're working with Ramin Bahrani?"
Right.
Like, yeah, I've seen his film. I like his work. He's a great guy. I've spoken with
Yeah.
him. He's like, no, you will have so much fun. And
Right.
that's exactly what happened. Ramin, he is so passionate about what he does. And
Mm.
he loves his actors, which is
Right.
I think a great thing for me, for
Right.
us actually. Because
Right.
he would give you that space. For him, it's not only about let's just finish the scene quickly or let's just move on to the next location. For him, it's about, take your own time. He doesn't even say action. For
Hmm.
him, it is like whenever you're ready.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't say action.
Okay.
He's like roll camera rolling, and then he says whenever you're ready. So
Does he
you
call
don't have.
cut or does he not call cut also?
He takes some time, but yeah, but that's what something which Hansa sir also does, and a lot of directors like Dada also does.
Right.
Like they don't Mutwani actually. I worked with him and Raj. So many people they do that. They have that process where it's like about let it roll because now also it's digital,
Right.
so you don't have to worry about the
Right.
talk which is just rolling.
Yeah.
So now I think it is that kind of thing where sometimes you get such some magic
Hmm.
which was not there in the scene. But if you don't say cut, sometimes you get that magic.
Right. But some of your roles like Ometa and even Shahid have been physically so demanding. It's not just, of course, changing your physicality, but
Yeah.
also some of the brutality that you face on screen and some that you inflict. How does it affect you as an actor, as a human being?
I like it. I like getting tired while working.
Right.
I feel like when I come back to my house, I feel like kuch hua aaj. I feel tired. Something has happened today.
Right.
And it depends. It totally depends on the characters. Like with Omar, it was with Omar and Shahid both actually. It was, yeah, you're right. It's physically and mentally
Yeah.
taxing. They're
So
not easy parts.
taxing. Yeah.
Very, very taxing. But I like going in that space.
Right.
I like putting myself in that spot where I don't think about anything. You have to be. I just like getting very deeply involved with my character's psyche, especially
Hmm.
because for me it's mostly about what's happening inside more than what's happening outside.
Hmm.
Because what you feel, what you think is what you do.
Right.
Yeah. So for my action comes from within.
Right. Rajkumar, I also once observed you very closely when we were having a conversation with Nasir Saab and Ratna Pathak Shah. You were sitting there. I think it was a couple of hours long. You were so observant and you listened so closely and you hardly talked. You were just observing, you were listening, you were sort of taking it in. That's a very rare quality in an actor. They usually like to be the center of attraction. So how have you made yourself so calm and so able to receive things, which is, I suppose, a quality that makes you a great actor. But how have you worked on yourself?
Thank you. Uh, I love these people.
Yeah,
They are people you look up to in life, and then when you get a chance to listen to them,
right,
don't interrupt. You know, as Buddha said, be a listener, be a good listener,
right,
because you never know what you're gonna get if you keep interrupting. So I'm a student of acting.
right,
So and that happens with everyone. Like when I spent a good amount of time with Irfan sir at one a couple of times actually, and I just loved listening to him. I loved listening to Irfan sir.
right,
When Sir Ian McKellen came, and I think Amir sir was the moderator. I just want to know their experience. I want to know how they prepare. I want to know what's their process,
hmm,
how they decide upon a character or a script. So for me, it's about learning. For me, it's about what new can I learn today from these people that can make me a better artist.
right. Not about being the star of the show and being the one to tell people this is what my craft is or this is how.
I honestly, I've never said this, but I genuinely don't like talking about myself. I genuinely don't like it.
But it's such an interesting life. I mean, a little boy growing up in Gurgaon comes to Delhi, comes to a college, does theater, goes to FTI, and has always known that he wants to be an actor, right?
Yeah, I think that was just a thing that happened. I think I feel I'm God's child. I think I sincerely believe that. And I think universe had this plan for me. And I would have come to Mumbai directly after doing theater in Delhi for 3 years.
Right,
But I wanted to learn. I wanted to be more prepared so that once I go, I decided once I come to Mumbai, I should not feel like maybe I should have, you know, done some more theater or done some more plays or
right,
learned some more. Of
right,
course, the learning is a never-ending process. You keep learning with every film as well. But
right,
I wanted to invest so much of time in learning, in
right.
getting trained as an actor.
Yeah, because you never know once you get into the whole process, how much time will you ever have,
True. True.
So but you've been working almost back to back, Rajkumar. So sometimes you need to take a breather as well, don't you? Or do you just like to plunge into something straight away after doing something
But
taxing, especially?
COVID-19 gave me a
Oh,
break from
yeah.
that. So I think all my breaks have just come together in these 9 months.
What have you been doing?
Like,
How have you been handling yourself?
not bad, not bad. I was trying to be productive. I was trying to read. I read a lot. I watched a lot of things on OTTs, different
Okay.
OTT
Right.
platforms, and I attended so many online workshops
Yeah.
on on like screenwriting,
Okay.
on direction sometimes. So I was attending a lot of online workshops.
Right.
I was doing that.
Okay. So, was that useful?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like going back to your basics, because after 10 years of being a working actor, sometimes you just have to pause and then revise everything all over again. And this lockdown gave me that opportunity. You know,
Right.
I, I attended from like so many actors: Kevin Spacey, Natalie Portman, Aaron Sorkin's screenplay writing workshop, Helen Mirren, um, and of course I'm forgetting some names now, but yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it
So,
did really help.
is there a future that you look at where you want to be a writer or you want to be a director as well?
The writer, I think writing is a very patient job.
Huh.
I have so many ideas in my head,
Right.
but just to sit and write those screenplays is a tough job. I think my respect for writers have gone so many notches higher. I tried. I tried writing. I wrote a couple of pages. I had some stories in my mind, but then I could not. I could not finish. I have to, I think, hire a professional writer now.
Yeah, but that is something that you could look at as well. Collaborating on projects, on movies that you have the story of which you've originated. That could happen as well.
Yeah, that could. I think that's the bigger plan. That there are so many ideas I have in my head, as I said,
Right,
and I would want those ideas to come alive, to be in a script format, and if it excites us, then maybe we would love to make them.
right. So, what is your spiritual practice? There has to be something because otherwise, the calm and the sort of the serenity that you have, I mean, it cannot come out of not actually working on yourself. So, how have you done that, Rajkumar?
Well, I am a very spiritual and a very religious guy, and I believe in everyone. Uh, yeah, I do read. I do read. I watch a lot of documentaries of some great scholars. I
Okay.
read books about some great yogis, and it's important. I think it's important to find that center point and
Hmm,
to focus on that.
hmm.
So and especially in this pandemic, I think in this lockdown,
Right,
uh, I did that a lot. Yeah, from Mahavtar Babaji to Paramhansa, to
right,
Neeroli Baba, yeah, to Rumi, to Khalil Gibran, so many things. Yeah,
right. Of course, one could say that in Trapped, you were already practicing for it.
yeah.
How was that experience? Did you remember some of your moments in Trapped during this lockdown?
Uh, if I didn't, there were so many people around me who did.
Who did?
There people made so many memes, and people
Yeah,
used to send messages like, "Oh, so you always knew that this was about to happen, so you were already prepared." Uh, but yeah, I can understand the feeling of luckily, like I was feeling very, not bad, but yeah, worried for my friends who were staying all alone.
right. Yeah,
It's not easy to just
yeah,
stay alone, all alone for 8 9 months. So I was in touch with them that they're doing okay, if they need anything, because at least I had people around me, you know. So, but it's yeah, so it can be tough.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rajkumar, 10 years on, do you consider yourself an insider? Do you consider yourself an outsider? Touchy question in these days.
I'm an actor.
Okay.
I'm just an actor who
Uh,
got, I think, who's blessed, and who's, yeah, I'm just an actor who's blessed.
who's looking for the next great part to
Yeah.
act? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Rajkumar. It's such a pleasure to talk to you, and please continue the good work. And please continue being this very calm and serene person that we see off screen. So I think that's
Thank
very important as well. To
Yes.
be a role model to young people, do they come to you? Do they ask you for advice?
They do, they do. Yeah, a lot of people ask me for advice that what should we do? We want to be actors, and I tell them that just work on your craft.
Hmm.
Just get trained. It won't be easy. It won't be an easy ride. But if you're ready, if you think this is your calling, first of all, find out what is your calling. If you think and find out why do you want to do it. If
Hmm.
you're doing it because you want to be famous, then that's not the right reason. You
Hmm.
should do it because you really love it, because there's nothing else you can think about apart from acting. So if you think that way, then yeah, please be on this journey, work hard, learn as much, and then come to the city, and there will be opportunities for you.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us, Rajkumar Rao. All the very best.
Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Bye.